Good morning and welcome to Belfast International Airport for the latest chapter in Larne FC's European Odyssey.
Hold your up to mine, hold us in a time, Lord, we're going to win the Irish League.
How are you?
Better get me smiling.
Always do.
That's what I'm doing with it.
Good morning and welcome to Belfast International Airport for the latest chapter in Larne FC's European Odyssey. Lying in wait 3 hours away, the Kosovan champions Ballkani. Over the next 48 hours, we'll be giving you exclusive access to Tiernan Lynch and his players as they prepare for this European Conference League qualifier. We'll also be bumping into some familiar faces and chatting to some of the Larne fans who've made the same trip. Keep it here on the usual platforms. Exclusive access coming your way as Larne FC make the trip to Kosovo to face Ballkani. Welcome to the Kosovan capital of Pristina. Another first for Larne Football Club, the first Northern Irish club side to play in these parts. A big game, of course, against Ballkani in the Europa Conference League qualifier tomorrow night. First comes training, and before that, of course, the journey from Belfast International to Pristina, the Kosovan capital. Took around 3 hours. Conditions very different from what we left. 13 degrees in Belfast. Here in Pristina tonight, it's 33 degrees. It's scheduled to get even hotter tomorrow, a high of 38, knocking the door of 40. Come kickoff, it'll be around about 30 degrees. So there are potential problems for Tiernan Lynch and his players. We'll catch up with Tiernan a little bit later at training and a couple of his players to talk about the problems that Ballkani might pose and how they're going to combat this temperature. It's not easy for the Northern Ireland souls that have made this trip. We're bumping into some of the fans as well. Keep it here on the usual platforms. Exclusive news of Larne Football Club's European Odyssey. Well, good evening and welcome to Pristina. Training is underway here with Larne FC, and alongside me the manager, Tiernan Lynch. And Tiernan, interesting, the pitch looks interesting, the heat is certainly interesting. The heat first, you can't deal with the heat at all, but clearly it's a problem or an issue, isn't it?
No, it's not an issue or a problem. It's something we just have to actually deal with. And the big thing is it what we're used to? No. But as I said, the players, tomorrow night's all about resilience. We've had enough resilience days in training and pre-season to know what's ahead. And we got to face it like that. That's something that, and again, we have to try and look to see, can we actually enjoy these moments? We don't always get to play maybe the way we want to play. We have to roll our sleeves up and change our game a little bit, and I think tomorrow night's going to be very much about that.
Well, good evening and welcome to Pristina. Alongside me, someone who needs no introduction, so I'm about to give him an introduction, but Ian Dowie, former Northern Ireland international, former player with Southampton, Crystal Palace, a bunch of other teams as well, and a manager with other teams as well. Give me your first impressions on the pitch, because it makes my garden look all right.
You'd say it's a little bit industrial, but I've got to say, what I will say is both teams have got to play on it, and actually, it's because it's thick enough grass, it's wet. I think the ball will roll on it, and it suits us because we're a passing team. So it poses a couple of challenges, but we'll see what happens. They say they're cutting it tomorrow. If they don't, it will be a little bit testing, but nonetheless, it seems to be rolling all right. So the passing's good enough for the boys.
And in terms of what you kind of can't control, the size of the pitch is there for everyone to see. It's bigger than probably Larne are used to as well. Does that cause problems?
Well, listen, for us, I think that's a big thing. I think we're, Tiernan has a great work ethic and makes sure that everyone's at an elite level, and I think we are there, and as a result, I think a big pitch suits us because we can churn out the yards. Everyone needs to talk about what Leroy does. I've seen some of the distance he covers, but that box to box, when you keep having to track a midfield player, it's difficult. And I don't think we mind a big pitch.
I don't want to make this about negatives, but Northern Ireland players, Northern Ireland people versus the heat sometimes isn't the best equation in the world.
You look at my complexion, I'm all red.
Absolutely. A hat tomorrow, please.
Yeah, no, I'll try. But listen, I suggest this is a wonderful opportunity. I really think now is time, probably tomorrow, isn't it, for the game. I think it's almost perfect temperature. If you were playing at 5 o'clock, I'd have a concern. But this time of the night, I think an hour on, I think there's everything for us to come and have a brilliant performance, which we did last week against Helsinki, against a little bit of unfortunate, and we miss out. But you couldn't say the lads' effort wasn't absolutely very, very much out of the top drawer, and some of the performances were outstanding.
Well, good evening and welcome back to Pristina. If you're like me and you were at Solitude last week, you're probably worried when you saw this gentleman next to me come off in the second half. I was worried it was an injury, but I think you just emptied the tank, hadn't you?
Yeah, the legs were just gone. They were quads, calves, hamstrings, just all cramped, all locked up, and I tried to get up and run it off, but as soon as I got up, it was cramped up again. But just exhaustion, but just you expect that when you put a shift in. So no, I'm all good now, all good.
How much? Well, good morning and welcome to day 2 of Larne's European Odyssey. We're here in Pristina. I've got to say the temperatures are creeping up very nicely. It's 31 degrees already. It's going to get hotter and hotter and hotter. I know for a lot of those Larne fans who were out very late last night, it's going to be a difficult morning and maybe a very late morning. Alongside me, someone who was tucked up very nicely at new signing Levi Ives. And Levi, how have you found it? How have you found the last couple of weeks?
It's been amazing. It's been a breath of fresh air for me, so it has. I actually don't know myself back in the full-time football, and with the lads have been fantastic. Everyone about the club's been brilliant, so it is. Still learning names, but I'll get there, so I will eventually.
Just a final point, it is hot. It's going to get hotter and hotter. It dropped last night when it got dark. Was it easier? You were trained last night. It was still pretty sticky, wasn't it?
To be fair, on the lungs, breathing, it was actually all right, but just sweating like mad because it's obviously the warm air. But it's I don't think it'll be too bad. Boys will get through it, so they will.
Brilliant. Well, as I say, it's going to be a long day for some of those Larne fans who are out late. It's going to be a long day for Levi and the rest of the guys. But we're slowly ticking down to kick-off, and it really is a big, big one for Larne. Take this tie back, keep it alive, and see what happens in Belfast next week.
My name's Ali Omar. I'd like to announce that Tomas Kosovo is the ugliest footballer we have at the club. He's a 35-year-old. His legs are hanging off. I think you should do a Q&A with me and Tomas.
No, stop trying to get him in videos with me. I want to be near him. I've said this. He stalks my life.
Because Tomas, I was just asleep at Kosovo.
Not doing it.
Why?
Leave honest a little bit.
You slept on a single bed. Champions League player.
I mean, if you get there first, you get there first.
Well, good morning and welcome to Larne FC's team hotel here in Pristina. I've got to say, slightly different because of the heat outside. A mobility session this morning, a bit of relaxation as well rather than a walk because it simply is too hot. Alongside me, I'm delighted to say someone who's made a really, really strong start to seeing Dylan Sloan. And Dylan, firstly, how pleased have you been with the start you've made, bearing in mind this is what you've dreamed of, this is what you wanted?
Yeah, I'm really happy, obviously. The gaffer's put his trust in me and give me a chance to play, and I think I've took it, and I just need to keep being in that team and being more consistent.
I imagine it's about being patient, bearing in mind the loans you've had, bearing in mind you've come through the system, but the rewards aren't bad either, are they?
Yeah, I had 2 loans out. I think done me very well. Gave me that bit of a taste of the Irish League definitely last year with Newry. And like you said, it's just about being patient.
Well, good afternoon and welcome back to Pristina. We're here at the team hotel, as you can see out here, but it's absolutely boiling. It's 35 degrees here in the Kosovan capital. That means no walk for the Larne FC players. So what we decided to do was give you your own little walk and show you just how intense the heat is here and just why Tiernan Lynch and his coaching staff decided that the players should stay in their quarters. Come and see Pristina. Okay, so this is the main boulevard running through Pristina, almost the length of the kind of inner city, if you like, from the train station all the way through the stadium. I'm going to show you where the Larne fans were last night, and we're going to walk to the stadium where I think there might be some also good news for Tiernan Lynch and his coaching staff in terms of what the pitch looks like ahead of tonight's game. It's a saying about mad dogs and Englishmen in the noonday sun. Lots of stray dogs here in Kosovo, all very well fed and all absolutely trying to find shelter from the sunshine. And if you're watching, Mum, yeah, I have got the sun cream on. Yes, it is factor 50, and yes, it is absolutely boiling here in Pristina. Now, the one thing you notice when you come to Pristina is how much they like their coffee, they like their ice cream, and how much the Larne fans like their cheap beer as well. I'm told they were here till 3 in the morning. It's Mary's, which I guess is rather fitting with Mary had a little Larne, and the Larne fans are still here. There we are. I tell you what, Helsinki, £9.50 a pint. Pristina, £1.50 a pint. Do the maths, that's why they're still here. So here we are back at the stadium, the National Stadium, that is, the home of tonight's game. And good news for Larne fans, and also especially for the players and Tiernan Lynch, is that they have mown the pitch this morning. It's not going to be quite as bad as it was last night, although it might present different problems. It's absolutely baking hot. There's not a cloud in the sky. They're expecting around 5,000 fans here tonight, and it really is hot. That's the walk from the hotel to the stadium. Bizarrely, it might take even longer on the coach tonight. The players are going to be tucked up in their beds. They're going to be having a nap. We're going to go and have a pint of cold water. Welcome back to Pristina. It's ticking down to kick-off, and I've got to say the wonderful thing at the moment is we've got a breeze in the Kosovan capital, but it is still mid-30 degrees. Someone who's no stranger to sunshine is Ali Kerr, and Ali, you came from the Cayman Islands, but you thought you were going to Belfast.
Once again.
And you thought you were coming to Belfast for a Thursday kick-off at home, so the whole thing was a bit of a cock-up, wasn't it? We're in Kosovo.
The geography wasn't the best, James. It's not one of my strong points, So here's me thinking it was going to be Solitude on Thursday, and they ended up Kosovo on Tuesday. So here we are, but hey, puts the air miles up, doesn't it?
It's a step into the unknown for Larne, bearing in mind they've done the Champions League already, it's European Conference League, and I guess tonight the important thing is to go back to Belfast with the tie alive, isn't it?
It has to be, and do you know what, I think after the way they played against Helsinki, they were superb, especially in the second half, and I really thought once the second goal went in, I think if the game would have went another 5 minutes, we would have nicked it. Very unfortunate, but the boys are superb, and seeing the boys this morning, they're positive, they're up for it, they're well rested, and yeah, it's warm, but sunset's about 8 o'clock, 8:45 kick-off. I think we'll nick it.
I think the basic fact of the matter is, if Larne played against HJK, they might not have a problem.
Absolutely, we were just immense. I mean, the second half there at Solitude, I don't think I've ever seen us play like it. The players they just give everything that night. So as proud as you were just devastated that we just couldn't get it.
So fingers crossed for tonight.
Yeah, definitely. I think we'll do it.
Brilliant. Richard, good afternoon.
Yes, all right.
How's the head after last night?
Not too bad, all good.
It was a late one, some good songs.
It was a late one, good few tunes last night, but it was good, yeah.
I said to Heather about a pinch yourself moment. It is. You've had fathers, grandfathers, uncles, mothers. No one thought Larne would ever get anywhere like this. And it makes it special that you're now here living it, doesn't it?
Well, it does. This is our third year in Europe. First year there was COVID, so we couldn't really get over the way we could. Last year, unfortunately, ended a bit early, so it's still pinch yourself moment,
It's just funny, I think important just to make sure this tie's alive when you go back to Solitude next Thursday, isn't it?
Certainly, I think that was the big thing last week. Probably the main thing was keeping the tie alive down to the second leg. We probably find ourselves in the exact same situation tonight, get a positive result, keep the tie alive. We showed last week 2,000 fans at Solitude. If we can keep this tie alive and go back to Solitude next week, we have every hope we can through here, every chance.
Great stuff, Richard. Thank you very much. They were loud and proud last night. They're a little bit quieter. They're building up very slowly. I wanted to introduce you to Raymond. Raymond, if you wouldn't mind just getting the larynxes, the dulcet tones of Larne, please.
What one?
Give me a song, a Leroy Miller song.
Yeah, okay, lads, let's go. We've got Super Leroy Miller. He knows exactly what we need.
Soldier at the mine, all is in its night. Lord, we're gonna win the Irish League.
Zojave zotrinti fost të FC Ballkanit ka përfunduar takimi I parë I vlerëshëm për rundën e dytë të Conference Ligës ndërmjet
Well, thanks very much for watching over the last couple of days. I hope we've given you a true flavour of what it's like to be on tour with Larne Football Club. Not the result they wanted tonight, and we're not feeling very lucky, loved or wanted, and they even turned the stadium lights off here in Pristina. I think it's important to remember in terms of the complexion of the tie, it's two legs. In the last round, Ballkani beat Ludogorets 2-0, then lost 4-0. Things can change very quickly in Europe, and ties can change out of all recognition. The one thing that Tin and Lynch and his players didn't have in the build-up to this game was time. They now have 9 days to reassemble, to go again at Solitude in Belfast. And anything can happen.